Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of JaianMusic Notes. So excited about today's solo episode. We've been getting a lot of guests lately. I want to thank everyone who's been checking out the podcast, leaving comments, leaving messages to me. I really appreciate all of you and all of your comments. It's been such a fun time. And today, on this solo episode, we're going to be diving into my cover of Piccolo vs. 17. It's a high-energy battle theme originally composed by Bruce Falconer for Dragon Ball Z. This track plays during one of the most intense, evenly matched fights in the entire series, and honestly, it's one of the most underrated fights in all of Dragon Ball Z, in my opinion. Piccolo, now fused with Kami, takes on Android 17 in an all-out brawl. And musically, this track is fast-paced, relentless, and built entirely on layered arpeggiators and synth textures and synth-based. I just went with no drums on this one. I just wanted the energy to come from a saturated wall of sound, mimicking the very rapid back and forth of this battle. So before we break down all the layering, the synthesis, the structure of this piece, here I want to just give a quick shout out to the sponsor of JaianMusic Notes. You know them, I love them, and you love them as well. Laser Audio Technologies. If you're looking for high quality plugins for your productions and to enhance your musical productions, check them out. Use code JaianMusic to get 25% off and support the podcast. Every dollar generated from that code goes straight back into the show, such as GoPro Kyo, who does all of the artwork for JaianMusic Notes. Please go give him a follow as well. All of his links in the description. All right, let's contextualize this fight a little bit before we get into the music of it all. Piccolo, like I said earlier, for a brief moment, is the strongest Z fighter. He fuses with Kami, basically God, and it makes him stronger than pre-heart virus Goku. And this surprises Android 17, whose internal database suggests that this should be impossible. Like, how can Piccolo get so strong? And Android 17 and Piccolo are perfectly matched. Unlike many Dragon Ball battles where one dominates another, this one is like a near even the entire way through, which is super rare. We see really cool moves like the Hell Zone grenade for the very first time, Piccolo's signature technique in this fight, and involves, scattering all these energy blasts around 17, and it's a devastating ambush. We get so many cool moments. Obviously, the arrival of Cell that changes everything, because Cell and Piccolo beforehand were more evenly matched, but this is a complete shift in the power dynamic once he absorbs the 17. So it's a whole thing. Just to give you a context here. For the music here, like I said, I decided to go drumless on this one. When I spoke with Studio Mike about this track, the drums were really important. They were the cornerstone of this track. Like I said, it felt like someone launched an arpeggiator sequencer, ran into the other room, hopped on a drum kit, drove a deadly beat, and then this just fused it all together. This track, for me, is built on tension without a rhythmic backbone. No percussion, driving straight into the fight and forward. Instead, the energy comes from the very rapid arpeggiations and swelling in the synthetic layers, There's this constant movement in the notes and this non-stop intensity of the fight where neither fighter gets a moment to breathe. Like, even that one moment where 17's in the air and thinks, okay, I got a moment to breathe. Now, Piccolo, Hell Zone grenade. We're going straight at it. And that's the idea with this cover. Like, just nonstop. Like, just go, 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 go. Momentum, momentum, momentum. Which is a very different concept that I go for. Because typically I like going into those, like, soft bells and pianos and ambient type of covers when I do classical crossover stuff like this. But for this one, you can't really do an ambient piece of this. It just wouldn't be right, in my opinion. It would just be this sort of musical contradiction for me. So like I said, layered arpeggiators and a saturated texture. So there's multiple arpeggiators that run here, and they create this overwhelming sense of speed and precision. It's just like a fluid movement that's constantly happening. The synthesized layers, they interweave. They come kind of like mirroring the fighters that are constantly trading attacks, and the textures are dense and saturated, which is what I wanted. I wanted this like sort of wall of sound type thing to it, just like it's not stopping, it's going, it's hitting, and that's what I really loved about it. That's what I think is such a cool thing about this track. It's short, it's sweet, but it's just there. Now, obviously, this battle theme not having drums, it's like very untraditional, to put it lightly. But despite the lack of drums, I feel like the intensity is maintained throughout the pacing and the harmonic tensions. There's these small bursts of higher register notes to accent certain musical phrases. When we go up a few notes or down a few notes, even in the sustains of certain notes, there's harmonic tensions that I really liked. This is similar to the battle itself. There's moments where there's like more tension. It's more like, oh, they're holding each other down and who's going to win. And there's like a beam being like charged up. It's everything like that. The relentless pacing plus the musical decision to make a wall of sound and something that's very sequential builds it all together for a composition that gives the impression of a fight where both combatants refuse to back down from one another. That's what's so epic about this fight. Like, they just go at it and they don't stop. Like, please go watch that fight if you haven't already. So, to tie it all together, this track, it's only a minute long, so there's only so much to say about it. If you haven't checked it out, please go check out my cover of it. It's one of my prouder pieces that I like to feature. Like, these solo episodes, I want to display the works that I'm most proud of, most happy with. And I did a whole other breakdown of the Dragon Ball soundtrack with Studio Mike not that long ago, so go check it out in the archives. Just go down the podcast feed. We're churning out episodes every single week about anime music, and there's much more to come. So to conclude it all, this track, it perfectly captures the relentless high-speed combat of Piccolo versus 17. It's structured like the fight itself: fast, intense, and shifting tactically. And just like in the anime, the momentum shatters the moment Cell arrives. I feel like with this cover, like at the very end, it's just this fade out. Man, I really want someone to compile all these like different sounds I make when I represent the synthesis. So please, let me know what your thoughts were on this fight, on my cover, and how I interpreted the music. Let me know, and always stay tuned for more deep dives into my arrangements. You can subscribe to the podcast, JaianMusic Notes, in your favorite podcatcher. You can follow me on social media at JaianMusic. My website is JaianMusic.com and leads to everything else. Subscribe to JaianMusic Notes, please. Use code JaianMusic for 25% off when you go over to Laser Audio Technologies, and give GoPro Kyo a follow on social media. He does all of the artwork for the show, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.